DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health. At Merck Animal Health, we're shaping the future of animal health with pioneering science, connected technology, and insights-driven solutions to bring our customers an unparalleled portfolio of choices to improve cattle care and operational efficiency. We support you and your legacy by helping you meet the challenges of today with the innovations of tomorrow.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. We're going to have a fun show today. As fall is coming on, it's time to start weaning and preconditioning calves, and we're just going to have a show talking about the importance of that. We're glad you joined us today, and we'll be right back.
They're here, they're hungry, and they can't be stopped with ivermectin. Choose Safeguard when you deworm your cattle to take out resistant parasites like brown stomach worm, Cuperia, Nematodirus, and others. With Safeguard's efficacy, you can kill more resistant worms in your cattle, so you don't leave potential on the table. Consult your veterinarian for the diagnosis and treatment of parasitism. Then bite back at safeguardworks.com.
Hey folks, I'm Dr. Dan Thomson. Welcome to DocTalk. I am a veterinarian. I have been with you on this show for 13, 14 years, over 600 episodes, and we'll hit 700 someday. But anyway, I'm a veterinarian. I work with Production Animal Consultation here at Farming Unlimited, and we provide shows on a weekly basis to talk about cattle health, about ranching and feedlot management, and things that are ancillary to our business that really help us do a better job of taking care of the animals that take care of us. And so today we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that's preconditioning. And preconditioning is something that has been around for many decades. And the reason why we have to precondition calves, and we don't talk about preconditioning chickens or preconditioning fish or preconditioning pigs, is because what we do is we set out there and we have this mama cow out on the range. She has that calf. Besides the vaccinations and some of the things that we provide to that calf and an ear tag, we ask that mom to, hey, why don't you take care of it, help it find shelter, provide the nutrition, help keep it healthy, and protect it from outside predators for 6 or 7 months. You know, a pig is in a farrowing crate and removed from the mom at 3 weeks. The chick is hatched on day 1, and even dairy calves are removed from the mom on day 1 or day 2 of life. And so we're saying, hey, why don't you take the first 7 months? And during that 7 months, a bond is formed, right? Between that calf and that cow and that cow and that calf. And so when we separate or remove the mother or the calf from the mother, there's a lot of stress involved because on both sides, because they have been together and this has been the caregiver and the support mechanism for that baby calf. So preconditioning, and what's important, is trying to decrease the stress of maternal separation while helping that calf learn, kind of like on a soft wean, how do we learn how to find the bunk? How do we learn how to find the water tank? Because if we receive calves that have been vaccinated, that have gone through maternal separation, that have had parasites controlled in the program, that understand that feed comes from a bunk, that water comes from a water tank, when those calves come to the feedlot or they come to the backgrounder, they just are so much more advanced, and it is such a decrease in stress on those calves relative to the calves that are coming in that have been what I would call mismanaged. Mismanaged calves are the ones that we don't vaccinate, that we don't wean prior to shipment, that we just go out, we gather up the pairs, we take the calves, we put them on a truck, they're bawling, the moms are bawling, we hit the truck and say there's somebody else's problem. How long we precondition and how long we leave them there is up to you, but I think a minimum of 45 days before we ship them, that from the time that we wean them until we ship them, 45 to 100 days is where we want to be. And so today what we're going to talk about are some weaning methods. We're going to talk about vaccinations, and we're going to talk about parasite control and nutrition of those calves. So thanks for joining us. We're going to take a break, and we'll come right back with more on DocTalk.
Hi, my name is Dr. Kirk Ramsey with Neogen. Today on Cattle Intel, we're going to focus on breeding soundness exams in our bulls. Cow-calf operations rely heavily on the success of bulls to breed cows. So using bulls without a breeding soundness exam is like driving a pickup without a fuel gauge. Eventually, you're going to be walking. So a good BSE, or breeding soundness exam, starts with your veterinarian checking your bull's physical condition, making sure the bulls have good feet, good conformation, normal legs and back, and overall body condition are all crucial for breeding activity. Another key element is testicular evaluation, looking at the size, symmetry, and development or even atrophy of the testicles. The penis is checked for injuries or abnormalities that could prevent breeding, but the exam obviously doesn't stop there. Semen is usually collected and analyzed for sperm motility, concentration, and shape. Remember, a BSE is just a snapshot in time, but it is the best place we can start. Remember to always schedule your BSEs at least 60 to 80 days before the breeding season. This allows for enough time for reevaluation if the semen quality falls short or the bull doesn't seem to up for what he needs to accomplish. Early detection is always going to save you money, ensures a productive breeding season. Don't leave your herd's success to chance. Make sure to get good breeding soundness exams for your bulls.
Thanks for watching Cattle Intel by Neogen.
Are you a cattle feeder looking to manage for a stronger and more profitable set of cattle? Look no further than Igenity Feeder. Igenity Feeder utilizes DNA to gain insight into your cattle's genomic potential, with the information to predict performance, quality, and economic endpoints for cattle feeders. Animals are scored and ranked in a simple format, driving more precise and accurate management decisions. Igenity Feeder gives you the power to predict days on feed, manage variability within lots, characterize carcass performance, and focus on metrics important to you and your operation. With the data provided, you will identify superior animals earlier and maintain high operational efficiency. Maximize your profit and optimize performance with Igenity Feeder.
John McCurry with McCurry Angus Ranch. We are standing right now in our fall yearling bull pen. On our first initial run with therapies, we commingled 3 separate different pens of bulls together for the ones that's in the sale, and had virtually no issues with these cattle in terms of commingling them and their attitudes towards each other. Didn't have the riding and the fighting that we normally can experience. And I would highly recommend us using therapies, and would recommend that to anybody else looking to do so.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thomson, and we're here in Kansas, where I'm a practicing veterinarian and I work with production animal consultation. My clients are in Iowa and Kansas and Nebraska, and mainly I work with feedlot operators. And we're looking for cattle that are coming in that have been managed correctly. And I think that it's been proven by superior livestock data that Merck has summarized that when we precondition calves correctly, the increase in value is there and people are paying more. Not only paying more on a 100-weight basis, but also you have the added pounds. So the added pounds plus the additional price per 100 equals bank for us on the ranch that are doing things right, because the feedlots understand that these calves require less maintenance, they're healthier, and they're more predictable on our risk management platforms. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is maternal separation. And I was asked to put together a series of papers on different weaning methods, so ways that we separate the calf from the cow and the impact in which that has on subsequent calf morbidity, calf mortality, and performance. The first thing they looked at was use of a trainer animal. So a trainer animal is putting a larger animal that's been weaned in with the new calves that have just been weaned, and the thought process is that trainer animal, whether it's a cow or a yearling steer will walk and teach the calves where the water tank is or where the feed bunk is. It doesn't work. 3 research papers shows no difference. We tried it one time with an old Holstein yearling, put him in with some balling calves. They started, we left, came back the next morning. Instead of the Holstein teaching the calves, we came in to find the Holstein walking and balling with the baby calves, thinking the same thing. So trainer animals isn't effective. The next type of thought process is a 2-phase type of wean, where we put a nose flap, as you can see in this picture, in this calf's nose, so that the calf stays with the cow. He can't suckle because of the nose flap, but he can graze. So he learns how to eat, but isn't able to suckle. So we do have the maternal separation of where the food's coming from. Mixed results on that. The one thing is if you leave the nose flaps in longer than 4 to 5 days, the calves get sores in their noses and they don't perform. So really, at the end of the day, putting them in for 4 to 5 days really doesn't buy us that much time based on the literature to add performance or to add a difference in subsequent health. Another type of weaning that I put up here that is been highly, there's 6 papers that have been published on fenceline weaning. And what fenceline weaning is you have the calves, you separate the cows and the calves, and you just leave a fence line between them. So they can come up and they can communicate between the fence. The one thing from literature is that 72 hours of fenceline weaning is not long enough, and that 17 days of fenceline weaning is too long. And so when we fenceline wean, you only fenceline wean for 7 days, a minimum of 7 days, probably a maximum of 10. And there's been varied results. Try it, different methods for different people, different results. And if you have no way of weaning these calves to precondition and put them on nutrition, we'll talk about creep feeding. And so when we come back, we'll move from weaning the calves into starting these calves on nutrition in the dry lot. You're watching DocTalk, and we're glad you joined us.
Founded by farmers, for farmers, United Patriot Coin stands with you. Diversify your financial portfolio with precious metals, a smart investment for uncertain times. You've worked too hard not to protect your assets. United Patriot Coin, precious metals for a secure future.
Success in the cattle business hinges on a lot of different people playing their part. From the vet to the cowboy and the nutritionist to the feed truck driver, you rely on them to get their job done right, and so do your cattle. Your expectations for the vaccines you use should be no different. Bimeta's cattle vaccines were developed and are made and sold by men and women in the cattle business. No smoke and mirrors, just real-world protection that you can rely on. Go to BimetaBiologicals.com to learn more.
In the livestock industry, castration is a common practice to ensure proper herd management. All methods are painful, regardless of the age of the animal. At Solvit, we could not ignore the clear industry need for better castration solutions. So we developed LidoBand, a novel lidocaine-impregnated elastrator, addressing the pain associated with band castration. It provides local anesthesia throughout the castration process. LidoBand, a small device that can make a big difference.
When you spot BRD in your cattle, that's your golden opportunity to target infection and its associated fever with a single dose of Resflor Gold, the industry standard dual therapy. To learn more, talk to your Merck Animal Health rep or your vet and see label at resflorgold.com. Animals intended for human consumption must not be slaughtered within 38 days of treatment. This product is not approved for use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older, including dry dairy cows.
Ranchers, looking to elevate your pasture management game? Turn to Heinen Brothers for expert aerial application. With state-of-the-art equipment and seasoned pilots, we deliver precision treatments right to your fields. From fertilizers to herbicides, Heinen Brothers has your pasture covered. Visit HeinenBrosAg.com to learn more.
When the ones who have your heart need your help, Count on us for everything they deserve, delivered fast. We'll work hard for you so you can work hard for your dreams.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thomson. Glad to be here with you. Glad that you're watching. We love doing this show. We love interacting. If you have cattlemen's associations or different types of meetings or banquets and you're looking for topics or speakers, find us at www.doctalktv.com and put in a request, and we'll see what we can do to get out and support your group. Nutrition of calves when we wean them. After we separate them maternally, or after we have this weaning method, I will hear people say, to get these calves eating is that, hey, I don't have a dry lot, so I can't do anything to precondition. Well, there's some papers out there, and I know that there's some different thoughts processes on creep feeding calves while they're on the cow, that, hey, if you're going to retain ownership, you can put that gain on cheaper in the feedlot. But when there's nothing else that we can do, helping that calf learn how to eat and eat out of a bunk, there's papers that have seen significant improvements in performance in the feedlot post-creep feeding and significant decreases in bovine respiratory disease. So creep feeding, in my opinion, is a very good practice and something that is definitely better than not doing anything at all. Now, if you have a dry lot and you bring the calves into the dry lot, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to feed a good quality grass hay. And that's something that the calves are familiar with. They understand what hay is. They saw mom eat it. They've probably nibbled on it, and they're going to go, because our goal is to get the calves eating. Okay? They're walking, they're bawling, they're stressed. Walking in there and spending some time putting the calves up on the bunk, getting them standing in the middle of the pen, letting them mix around at the bunk, find that hay and start to consume it. We then put a layer of our starter ration or starter pellet over the top of that hay. And we'll do that for 2 or 3 days until these calves are consuming some hay and consuming some starter pellet. Once they're starting to clean up that hay and they're starting to eat that starter pellet, we're going to just put them on our TMR or our starter ration. Generally speaking, that starter ration is going to be 60-65% concentrate, meaning 35 to 40% hay, okay, or roughage. We want to make sure that we have at least 14% crude protein in that starter ration, and we want it to come from a natural protein source, such as soybean meal, cottonseed meal, corn gluten meal, or just distillers, okay? But those are the types. We don't want to feed a lot of urea or non-protein nitrogen because they don't have a developed rumen. Therefore, the microbes can't convert that urea or that synthetic nitrogen to microbial crude protein efficiently, and we want to get that bypass protein to get them off to a good start. Make sure we have the right amount of vitamin E. We feed about 4 times the NRC requirement on starting calves, and we want to make sure we have zinc, selenium, and copper at adequate levels as antioxidants to support the immune system. Now, the best diet in the world does nothing if it's not consumed. You want to make sure you have adequate bunk space. Where I see issues with starting calves on feed more and more today is when we put calves on too little bunk space. And people say, well, how much bunk space should I provide them? It's easy. Can they all get to the bunk at once and eat? If they can all come to the bunk at once and eat and not have the stress of trying to fight and push and go in, then you have enough. Some people say, well, this is all the bunk space I have and these are the calves that I bought. I have a producer in Northwest Iowa that will put an extra bunk in the pen aside from his fenceline bunk and feed in that two-sided bunk in the pen until these calves are started and they're over their sickness and health issues. So starting out with more bunk space, going down to less bunk space is something once the calves are healthy. When we come back, we'll wrap up on preconditioning.
Hey, I'm Clark Victory. I grew up right here on this little ranch near Chelsea, Oklahoma. Roped and ranched all my life. A few years ago, I had an injury that created what they call a frozen shoulder. And after speaking with the surgeon in Tulsa, he told me that he could make my shoulder better if he did surgery, but he absolutely couldn't fix it. And I called Kansas Regenerative Medical Center. I did the stem cell replacement. By 12:30, my wife and I had lunch and was driving back to Chelsea. We work around here. Some days we work pretty hard around here, and my right shoulder doesn't get sore. It's like a baby's arm.
Hey folks, when we talk about intranasal products, having the right nozzle is important, and Merck has a new what they call CleanVax nozzle that's outstanding for administering Nasalgen. It has a nozzle that helps with the direction and application of the vaccine in the nose, and if you want to receive a free package of CleanVax nozzles, go to valleyvet.com, and between now through the end of September, anytime you order Nasalgen products and you use the promo code DocTalk, they will send you a free package of the CleanVax nozzles. Hope you're enjoying it, they work, and we'll see you down the road. Hey folks, for your firearm and ammo needs, for gun safes and much, much more, and to have it personalized, come visit us at United Patriot Supply outside of Seneca, Kansas. You can also visit us online at unitedpatriotsupply.com. Be sure to say that Dr. Dan and DocTalk sent you, and we'll see you down the road.
One animal has this huge impact on your operation.
BVDV is one of the most costly bovine diseases, with losses of $15 to $88 per head.
The virus will actually cross the placenta and get into the fetus. As it's developing, its immune system will recognize that virus as it's supposed to be here. And so then that's where our persistently infected animals come from. They're going to shed that virus their entire life, and then it's going to impact your operation.
It is important to work with your local veterinarian and partner with IDEXX for the best solution for your operation.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thomson, and I'm glad you joined us. We're talking about preconditioning calves. And while we've talked about maternal separation and different weaning methods, we've talked about the starting nutrition, and doing creep feed is better than nothing. And if you have some dry lots and you're able to start those calves, there's some different ways we can feed them and get them going. Definitely the basics are the same everywhere we go. Feed ingredients might differ. Another thing that's very important is having these calves vaccinated. Vaccines aren't an immediate response like an antibiotic, or it's not a treatment. This is a prevention. And so planning when you're going to vaccinate and what you're going to vaccinate with is vitally important, because this isn't something like I give a vaccine today and they're protected tomorrow. It takes 5 to 7 days. Heck, it takes months to build a proper immune system in a calf. It starts at day 0, making sure your cows are vaccinated so that you have adequate colostrum, so that day 1, that calf sucks the colostrum and gets great passive immunity. As passive immunity wears off against the pathogens it's going to be exposed to on your ranch, that's when we're going to bring those calves in for branding. And at the time of branding or turnout, we're going to vaccinate for clostridial diseases, and we're going to vaccinate with a 5-way modified live viral: BVD, PI3, BRSV, and IBR. Now, if you're using an intranasal product at the time of branding or weaning, understand there is not a BVD antigen in that product. So I think it's vitally important that we're using BVD antigens. So using the injectable or parental BVD product in combination with the intranasal is something that I highly recommend. So we're going to brand at 60 to 90 days post-birth, and we're going to use the clostridial, the 5-way modified live viral. Then 2 weeks prior to weaning is the adequate time in which we're going to do a clostridial vaccine again, a 7-way clostridial, a 5-way modified live viral, and we're going to probably then incorporate the Mannheimia hemolytica vaccine. When we wean, that's 2 weeks after those pre-weaning shots, we're going to go ahead and again give them the 5-way modified live viral and probably the Mannheimia. The big thing about your vaccine program is have the timing. Branding, 2 weeks before weaning, and weaning. Work with your local veterinarian. He'll know or she'll know which vaccines are needed and what endemic diseases and things within your region are things that we need to prepare those calves or build immunity in before they're commingled at a feedlot, before they're commingled at an auction market, so that they're protected. Another thing that we want to do as those calves are weaned is we want to treat them for internal and external parasites. So having a good program, we recommend a 2-wormer program, a white dewormer paste with fenbendazole with the injectable ivermectin. Just seems to be the most complete product that we and parasite control program that we see on the market that also reduces parasite resistance. If we vaccinate them, we wean them, we prepare them, we clean them up from parasites, and the last thing is acclimation. Make sure that you spend time with your cattle so they know that you're a caregiver and that people can be trusted so that they'll show us clinical signs. That's a whole nother topic for another time, but these are things we can do to prepare these calves for a change of address. Thanks for watching DocTalk. If you want to know more about what we do, you can find us on the web at www.doctalktv.com. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson. Always work with your local veterinarian, and I'll see you down the road.
At Merck Animal Health, we support you and your legacy by helping you meet the challenges of today with the innovations of tomorrow.